Instant analysis. Number 1 Auburn escaped distraught in Mizzou, winning 16 games in a row. The price on Auburn's head is getting steeper, and Missouri couldn't cash in on an opportunity to unseat the nation's number 1 team. Top-ranked Auburn withstood Missouri's best shot, overcoming an early double-digit deficit and outlasting a pesky effort from the upset-minded home Tigers on Tuesday night in Columbia, MO. In its first ever game as the nation's number 1 team, Auburn weathered a wretched night on the offensive end, dodged a post-Kentucky hangover and extended its win streak to 16 games with a 55-54 win against Missouri. Read more Auburn Sports. Goodman. Auburn hoops greatness lost on Kentucky. Auburn is letting KD Johnson be himself, and it's paying off. Auburn Athletics reports $9.7 million loss in 2021. I think the hangover is, it's a long year and these guys have been having to get up every game, a couple of times a week, Auburn coach Bruce Pearl said. I've been impressed by them because it's not easy to do. Look, Missouri has beaten Alabama once, beat M here. They had Texas A&M beat the entire game and lost in the last minute. They beat Ole Miss by 25 at Ole Miss. They're a good team and they're going to beat a lot of people in here. Just not Auburn, on this night at least, despite Missouri's best effort. Auburn's 16-game win streak is the third longest in program history and officially the longest for the team during Bruce Pearl's tenure, surpassing the 15-game streak by the 2019-20 squad. Tonight we didn't play very well, Pearl said. We didn't play a great team, but we played a team that's really good at home. We obviously took them seriously. We just didn't play well, and they had a lot to do with it, not that we weren't ready to play or couldn't handle the ranking. In a game that saw 11 lead changes and Auburn trailing by 1 inside the final 2 minutes, KD Johnson stepped up and willed Auburn to the victory. The Georgia transfer and certified madman on the court scored 5 straight points down the stretch to put Auburn in front and put Missouri away. Johnson finished with 17 points and 3 steals to lead Auburn, while Walker Kessler turned in another double-double, with 13 points and 12 rebounds, including 7 on the offensive glass, as only 2 players scored in double figures for Auburn. We finally got number 1, we're happy about it. But that's not the final step for us, Johnson said. We just focus on trying to get win. Everywhere we go now, it's a big price on our heads cause we're number 1. Everybody's going to give us their best shot, so we're just trying to stay together wherever we go and try to get the W. Here are AL.com's key takeaways from Tuesday's rock fight at Mizzou Arena. Auburn weathered a slow start and another double-digit deficit. For the third time in 4 games, Auburn overcame a double-digit deficit against another SEC opponent, giving Bruce Pearl's team its best shot. This time, top-ranked Auburn weathered a cold shooting first half to avoid an upset at the hands of a feisty Missouri team. Auburn opened the game just 1 of 11 shooting and then 5 of 22 from the field in the first 14 minutes at Mizzou Arena. During that sluggish start, Auburn had stretches of 9 consecutive misses and 7 straight missed shots, as Missouri built an early 10-point lead and maintained an edge against the nation's number 1 team for much of the night's first 17 minutes. Like it did against Kentucky and Ole Miss before that, Auburn chipped away at that double-digit deficit. Auburn finished the first half making 6 of its final 8 shots, closing the half on a 14-7 run. Auburn took its first lead of the night with an 8-0 run late in the half, when KD Johnson drilled a 3-pointer, then got a fast break layup off a steal, followed by a Jabari Smith triple to make it 28-27 with 3:11 to go in the half. It was Smith's only basket of the first half, but as the freshman phenom has done all season, he delivered a timely 3-pointer in a key situation. It's another example that you can point to, Pearl said. Our kids, they saw Ole Miss jump out to a big lead at Ole Miss and make shots and play inspired when we went there ranked, like, 4th. Again, they saw the same thing tonight against Missouri. It's a long year, and I felt going into tonight that we've been grinding so hard that at some point there could be a letdown. And maybe we had a little bit of a letdown tonight, because we weren't very sharp offensively. So, we'll see how we respond, but a team with a lesser character would not have been able to come back and win this game. Wendell Green Jr. avoids a scare, comes up big down stretch. Auburn's depth experienced a scare with 13:18 to go in the second half, when backup point guard Wendell Green Jr. collided knee-to-knee with a Missouri player on a drive to the basket. Green remained down on the court for several minutes before gingerly walking to the locker room for further treatment. In that moment, Pearl saw Auburn's season flash before his eyes as he pondered how his team would survive an extended stretch with its closing point guard sidelined. Based on Green's initial reaction to the collision, that scenario didn't seem far-fetched. I thought man, that's it, Pearl said. He could be out. Auburn trailed, 39-38. When Green went down. The Eastern Kentucky transfer has been Auburn's 6th man this season, but he has also been the team's leading scorer in SEC play, averaging 15.1 points per game entering Tuesday night. He had 6 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist when he exited the game. Green returned to the game with 9:56 to play and Auburn trailing, 40-38, after being diagnosed with a knee contusion. Auburn tied the game on Green's first possession back, when Devin Cambridge scored on a Missouri goaltend. Then, coming out of the under 8 media timeout, Green connected with Cambridge on a lob to put Auburn ahead, 44-41, matching the team's largest lead to that point of the night. He then hit Walker Kessler on an alley-oop, Auburn's bread and butter offensively, with 3:43 to play to push that lead back to 3. Green finished the game with 6 points, 3 assists and 3 rebounds, but he made some key plays late that helped Auburn survive on the road. "I was grateful he was able to come back," Pearl said. "That might have been the biggest win tonight, that Wendell came out of the training room. Defense, rebounding saved the day." For as miserable as Auburn's offense was at Mizzou Arena, shooting just 30% for the game and 21.4% from three-point range, its defense and effort on the boards made all the difference between a 16th straight win and a disappointing upset. Auburn held Missouri to 38% shooting, including just 30.4% in the second half, as Missouri made just 7 baskets over the game's final 21-plus minutes. At one point, Missouri went 8-32 between made baskets, a stretch that included 8 consecutive missed shots by the home team during a game that Pearl said may have been the most physical Auburn has endured this season. "Just our focus, you know. We were kind of everywhere during the first half and a little bit of the second half," Johnson said of the defensive effort. "We just needed to come together and just get our mind right and get back to what we were doing in the first place." Meanwhile, Auburn dominated the boards in the second half, holding a 33-16 edge on the glass. A lot of that was due to Cambridge, who would not be denied on the offense boards. Cambridge pulled down 9 rebounds on the night, all of them coming on the offensive end and all in the second half. That, combined with Kessler's 12 boards, 7 of which were offensive rebounds, and Smith's 10-rebound night helped provide Auburn an advantage on the glass. "Tonight just used his athleticism, and they couldn't check him out," Pearl said. "We had 25 offensive rebounds. You talk about, you know, guys playing with effort and energy, that's what it's all about." Tom Green is an Auburn beat reporter for Alabama Media Group. Follow him on Twitter at Tomas_Verde.